I'm told this afternoon that our representatives in Canberra gave Barack Obama a very warm Australian welcome. And indeed he is the first President of the United States, not of European extraction, of Asian background, and there is indeed something to celebrate there, and we should welcome a President of the United States who does not come from the dominant culture of the United States. But we should extend no welcome to President Obama for the messages that he brings with him and for the moral load that he carries with him. There is no security purpose served for Australia by having 3,000 American troops stationed on our soil. Just as there is no security gain for this country or for this region having US bases on our soil, having US spy bases on our soil, or having any other form of tracking base on our soil, those 3,000 troops will make us less secure, not more secure, and will make our neighbours less secure, not more secure. There is no benefit for this country in welcoming more armed forces from a foreign nation onto our soil. There is a huge benefit for us in demilitarising our region, demilitarising the Pacific. Barack Obama says he's discovered the Asia Pacific. Well, let him discover something else about the Asia Pacific. This part of that region is not nuclear armed and does not engage in the development of nuclear weapons. Let him respect that. Let him keep his nuclear arsenal in his part of the world and let us live our lives without the threat of nuclear war. But there's another message the Australian Parliament should have given to Barack Obama, and it was a moral lesson. A lesson in the immorality of using drones for what you might call selective assassination, for what you really call untargeted assassination. The most reliable figures on the use of drones in Pakistan is that up to 1,200 people have been killed over the last 6 years. Those figures also show that 1/3 of those who were killed, up to 400 people, were not targets, were civilians, putatively innocent civilians who have been murdered by the death from the sky. The US has embarked on a program of developing technology which rains down death on the innocents. Unseen and unheard, individuals end up being murdered from the sky. Individuals whose sole crime is to choose to live somewhere near somebody who has made themselves or has become a target of the United States. There can be no moral system that criminalises people for where they were born and where they live. There can be no moral system that says it's okay to rain down high-tech death on innocent individuals, children, family, men going about their daily work, whose only abrogation of the moral code of the United States was they choose to be Pakistanis. In fact, they didn't choose to be Pakistanis, they were born in Pakistan. The Australian Parliament, in welcoming Barack Obama, made a grave mistake in not adding to that welcome an impassioned plea to get rid of the drones, to get rid of the high-tech death from the sky weapons, to get rid of those weapons which indiscriminately bring down death and destruction on communities, on individuals, on families. By not doing so, and by signing up to the 3,000 American soldiers on our soil, by our continued commitment to American bases on our soil, by our continued foreign policy stance that sees us voting against Palestine joining the United Nations as a full country, that saw us opposing Palestine's membership of the UNESCO, that sees us following blindly the United States in every foreign policy decision since and before our disastrous engagement in Vietnam, by failing to tell Barack Obama that we will not continue to follow blindly the United States, we will not be part of their war in the Middle East, their war against the Palestinians, their war against the Afghanis, their war against the Pakistanis, their war against the Iraqis, their so-called war on terror, their so-called war on drugs. These are not our wars. These are not wars of people versus people. These are wars of elites in Washington who profit enormously from the arms trade, who profit enormously from selling weapons to an impoverished nation that can't even afford to look after its own poor. This is not where Australia's future lies. It is time for us to stand up as one voice and say to the United States, yes, Barack Obama, you are welcome here, but leave your drones behind, leave your troops behind, leave your bases behind, leave your weapons of mass destruction behind. Stand with us for a region of peace, for a planet of peace. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you very much,
US forces give the nod. It's a setback for your country. Bombs and trenches all in rows. Bombs and threats still ask for more.